look at the first discussion for week 4. As you can see from the prompt here, we are being asked to consider our priorities. We're looking at what are the most important things if resources are limited. I like to think of this, if money is tight, what would I put at the top to make sure I take care of? What would be second? What would be third? And maybe resources, we shouldn't just think about money, but instead, maybe we think about time being limited as well. Many people are busy, and sometimes choices must be made. So what are the most important things? We're asked to think about and rank the top 6 here, and then explain why we put them in that order. So as with most of our discussion prompts, there really isn't a right or wrong answer here. We just need to choose the 6 that are most important to us and then explain in a few sentences why they're important to us, how we would, what were the factors we considered when we put them in that order. So let's look at the list. We've got 15 items here, and we need to think about what would be our top 6. Now, your top 6 may be different than my top 6, and that's okay. But I'm just going to choose my top 6. I'm going to put them in red just so it'll stand out here. Okay, so maybe I say something like this. My top 6, not topic, my top 6 priorities from the list are, I'm going to say my family first. Then I think my next thing is my housing, because I know that it's going to take care of my protect my family. And food, water. Now you may have those interchanged. Maybe you put food and water second and then housing third. I think the next thing for me is going to be my job, right? Because that's going to give me, and I'm just telling you my reasoning here, that's going to help me provide the other pieces for my family. Okay, and then if I'm going to have to work, then I'm going to need to talk about transportation. Maybe I don't have a car, but instead I use the bus, or maybe I ride a train, or I live close enough I can ride my bike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got one more. And then I think, and then I might put friends. Okay, now remember, your list may look different than my list, and that's totally okay. It is not about all of us having the same list, but instead it is about, here's my list, let me explain why, okay? So I would encourage you, because our discussion post needs a 150 words minimum, I would encourage you to write a sentence about each one of the priorities you chose here. So I might say something like, my family is the most important to me. Because my spouse and my children depend on me to help them. You could say something like, do what they need to do. Okay, maybe my spouse depends on me to take care of certain things so that he can focus on other things. My children depend on me to help them get their lunch ready, to help them get to school, to make sure their homework gets done, all of those things. And I could go into more detail, but I think that one sentence pretty much sums up why my family is the most important. So next, the housing or shelter is important because it provides a place for my family to live. Okay, so I just really notice I just said, this is what I chose next. Here's why. Okay, I'm just explaining it. I'm going to continue going through each of the choices I made and giving an explanation, and we'll check the word count at the end. So then food and water are important because my family needs to eat healthy foods that bless their bodies. So I say mine that way, and I don't know if we've had this conversation, but I have a daughter that has lupus. And so food is a very, very important deal. If she does not eat the right kinds of things, then she will have symptoms and she will have problems with her lupus. And so when I say eating healthy foods is important to my family so that it blesses their body, you can kind of see where I'm coming from on that, right? Okay, next I chose my work, okay? So my work is important to me because it provides an income that allows my family to pay their bills, to pay our bills. Okay, again, going back to that, here's what I chose and here's why. I've got two more. If I am going to work, I need transportation. So it is important to me because I need a way to get to work each day. All right, and then my friends. My friends are important because they support and encourage me when I get down. Okay, very simple, right? I didn't go into a whole lot of other details. I'm just going to highlight this here. I'm going to check my word count. There it is. And looky there, I'm at 131. I'm pretty close. Now, I do need some kind of reference for this. For your initial post. Remember, you need one reference and one citation. So there are several that you could look at. I'm just going to do this little bit of article here I found. Ways to set priorities. So I'm going to grab a quote. Okay, and so I found one. This author said that composing a list of priorities helps keep things in perspective. With my list, I am able to take care of the things that are most, I'm going to put my quote in here. Composing a list, and I'll change the font here just a second. And that came from, I'm grabbing my, I just did a little Google search. I don't know about you, but that's what I did. So I'm going to grab my link here. This was from minimalismmadesimple.com. And then let me just change that font so that it goes in with the rest of my post here. I think it was this. And I think we were a 12. Yeah. And then we were red. And voila, there, I've got my post. I identified my 6 things that were going to be important to me, and I've explained why I chose each one. For some reason, Word's telling me this has got a little bit of an error, but that's okay. We'll fix that. Okay, put a comma there for you. And then I can just drop that into the first discussion for week 4. I want to highlight a little bit as far as when you're doing your 2 replies for this week, you want to think about what your peers selected and how they ranked their items. Do you agree or disagree? Always agree or disagree with respect and just explain why. Maybe you just point out a little difference. Hey, I chose to put food and water second instead of third like you did. The reason I chose to put it second was, and then explain why. You might look for some of those differences that might help you when you're doing your replies to the other classmate. So I hope that helps with the week 4 discussion 1.